Hi, this is Calendar Boy again. Yesterday I was at a GameStop and I picked up Ratchet and Clank, and I got this, little guide from GameStop. It was free, so I just picked it up. Anyway, I turned to page 44, and on this cover here, or in the cover, in this photo, there's a picture of these two girls playing the Wii. The one on the left is a white girl, probably a wasp. Yeah, I mean, look at the hair. She's she's probably
a little bit Irish.
Yeah, Irish or Scottish. Okay, we're talking, uber Anglo.
Yeah.
And then the one on the right is obviously Asian. You can see, I hate to sound like a damn racist, but it's in the eyes. Okay, sorry, but honestly, she doesn't look 100% Asian. I think she's mixed.
She's just enough Asian to be PC.
Yes. Yeah, that's a whole other issue that I won't get into yet. But anyway, I'm looking at the girl, and I think she's Japanese, if you want to get really specific. The reason I think she's Japanese, and again, not to sound racist on it, but I know I will. See this right here? These little things under the eyes? I've noticed that, I don't know, it seems like a lot of Japanese have larger, what are they, fat deposits, right?
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the Japanese I've seen, in movies or TV or whatever, they seem to have a larger one of those. I mean, look at the white girl. She doesn't even, you can barely see she has them. Look at you. Did you know that you really don't have those?
No.
Okay.
I'm not Asian.
Right.
It could be black though.
Yeah. Anyway, the girl I believe to be is Japanese. Anyway, so I'm thinking about Japan now. And I remember Java Man telling me a while back that Japan, the nation of Japan, they're a nation. They're not an empire anymore, right?
No, they're a nation.
Okay, Japan does not have an army, and guess what? I try to have knowledge on history and social studies and all that stuff. I did not know until that moment that Japan did not have an army. Why don't you go ahead and tell us how you discovered they didn't have an army, and then tell us why. What are the circumstances?
I didn't even learn about it in history class. I learned about it in economics class.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, after the war and everything was over, Dr. Edward Deming, who is an economist, he was here in the U.S. and he had this whole idea about production. Kind of like the whole Walmart just-in-time production theory,
right.
Blah blah blah.
Right.
So he tried to do that in the U.S. and everyone was, they weren't going for it. So Japan, the Prime Minister of Japan, actually invited him over there to teach them this type of production method in Japan. And so he went over there and taught them this. But the reason Japan was able to put so much money into their economy in production was because they didn't have to fund an army, because part of the treaty at the end of the war was that Japan was not allowed.
Hold on, let's wait for this damn truck to pass, because I don't think we can pick up your voice. Alright, Japan, this professor or economics guy?
Dr. Deming, yeah.
Dr. Deming, okay.
Went over there to show them his production method, and the reason they were able to put so much money into it was because their government doesn't have to fund an army, because part of the treaty at the end of the war was basically the U.S. said, you're not allowed to have an army. You're not allowed to have a military. They have like a kind of a token, I don't know, kind of like a national police type thing, like the National Guard.
Oh, okay,
like during earthquakes and stuff, they
right.
help out, but they don't have like an actual fighting army, navy.
I mean, they can't even declare war, right?
No. And they have no air force, a la no more Japanese kamikaze pilots. So they put all their money into production. And so, back in the 50s, 60s, that's why Japan, basically kicked everyone's butt in the economy, and that's why they became a, world power. Japan is the only world power that has no natural resources on their land. If you think about it, like Russia, Europe, United States, they have all your basics, coal, timber, fuel, oil supplies, reserves, whatever. You know, they have actual natural resources. Japan is a rock island.
Mhm.
They have no resources.
Mhm.
They have no steel, anything. They import everything and produce it and then export it. But, you know, they killed everybody in the economy because they put all their money into that type of thing. And so then the U.S. basically, you know, after started getting their butts kicked in economics, you know, and they were like, oh crap, you know, we missed the boat on that one.
Yeah.
So then they actually asked him, you know, hey, will you teach us how to do this? And he pretty much, you know, said no. You know, you guys had nothing to do with me back when I came up with this.
Mhm.
I went to Japan, set it up, you know, and now they're killing you. But, you know, screw you guys.
Yeah. So, long story short, Japan does not have an army. And I don't know,
And they
maybe
have us to thank for their economy.
yeah, maybe I'm just part of the minority, okay? But yeah, I did not know Japan didn't have an army. I mean, I'll be honest, I never thought about it. But now that you do think about it, you know what? They don't have an army. How often do you hear about the Japanese Navy, you know, came to rescue these guys out in sea? Guess what? You never hear about that. Or how often do you hear about Japanese fighter pilots shot down a Russian MiG over Mount Fuji? Guess what? You never hear about it because they don't have one. Now, with that said, tell us the United States' involvement in their protection, basically.
Basically, the agreement is, you know, if they're ever threatened by a country, we have to go to war on their behalf.
Yeah, it's not like the U.S. and England, for example, where we're just straight up allies, 50-50, okay? We are actually, what you're saying is the United States is actually basically the caretaker of Japan.
Right.
As far as, you know, protection is concerned.
And that's why you have all of the, you know, U.S. bases in, like, Okinawa and stuff. You have actual U.S. military bases in Japan because that's their defense. Like, if anything were to ever happen, our military bases in Japan would go to war on behalf of the Japanese people.
Right. But like you said, they can't declare, like if they say, you know what, we're sick of North Korea, you know, pointing their guns at us.
Right.
We can't just say, you know, presidents, you know, whatever, whoever the president is in Japan.
Obama, Clinton.
Yeah. He can't just simply say, screw you, North Korea, we're going to war with you.
Yeah. They have to ask the U.S., you know, please kick their butt for us. They're picking on us.
Yeah. That is incredible, man. I mean, are there other examples in history of this?
I'm sure there are. I can't think of any offhand, but not to that degree. I mean, you think about it, you know, Japan is one of the, you know, the 7 superpower countries or whatever, you know, economic superforce countries.
Right.
They're the only one that does not have their own military. You know, everyone in Europe, Russia, you know, South America, United States, all of those places all have their own military. Japan is basically the only superpower that has no military.
Amazing. And that got me thinking, you know, if there was ever a World War III and the United States needed more help, you know, obviously Britain has our back and you know, I'm sure some South American nations, Argentina or something, you know, even Germany and France, maybe, but
no, France.
Assuming France is the enemy, okay, let's just say that, hypothetically, it'd be like, hey, you know, we need some help. What about Japan? They've been our allies for 50 years. How come they can't send some troops over? Oh, guess what? This is why. Wow.